Okay. SaraSutenSeti, an SLR Radio station, sending out information to each and every one. Tune in to find your voice. This is the program that gives you a chance to broaden your mind.
2 minutes.
It's SLR Radio. It's SaraSutenSeti.
Okay then. What I want to do now, I want to bring in the great man.
Great man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Let me get out the way.
Bring into the house, man. You want to sit down? Sit down with the keys in. Yeah.
You come out.
My brother, you sit down and relax. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
What I want to do now, because not many people know about you. I've already heard about you online, and I know there's some word about politics, you know, we'll go into that a little later on. Right? But it'd be wise just to give a little background about yourself. So you just pop up.
That's right.
Yeah, and just come up on the scene.
That's right.
Just give a little background so people have a little flavor.
Okay, yeah, well, you know, I've been studying under Dr. Ben, Dr. Joseph Ben Yakanan, Dr. John Henry Clark, you know, for about almost 30 years now. You know, my uncle, Pianti, was raised by Dr. Ben in the craft environment rock. He went over to Egypt 9 times with Dr. Ben. He went to Sudan twice, Ethiopia once with Dr. Ben. So, you know, he was the forerunner. You know,
That's your uncle, you talking about uncle?
Yeah, my uncle Pianti, he was a student of Dr. Ben for many years. And so, you know, I grew up, you know, deifying Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark. I thought they were God on earth. You know, and so, you know, that started my studies. And, you know, from that point on, you know, I've been to Egypt 3 times, Ethiopia once, Mexico, you know, doing the research. And, you know, I came back home. I worked in Detroit Public Schools for 4 years, and I graduated close to 100 students in my program, my rites of passage program that I had in Detroit Public Schools. And from that point on, I just hit YouTube.
Okay.
And that was when I just, you know, went international.
All right then. Because I was watching something on YouTube with you, and I know that you was slave to the Hebrew Israel. Yeah. I know that you I know there's quite a few debates.
Yeah.
You know, and etc. But also I know that there's some little trouble with my man there, Uma. So yeah. So I want you to sit there and straight, you know what I mean? Straight. And again, we're not trying to throw stones at anybody, but it's good to get your perspective still, and just to set the record straight. And if you want to come in and take it.
Well, I don't have no problem, you know. It's, you know, people know the energy that I produce. You know, I don't have no bones about stating the fact that I'm one of the pillars of this community now today. You know, I'm not talking about the elders, but I'm talking about the ones up under 35. You know, I'm a pillar. You know, that's just it. You know, when Sarnet, I went to New York just like I came here. I went to New York to meet Sarnet. I was already doing lectures, and you know, and he saw the gift that I had, and we had the first mega event of this community, which was Th3PeopleVS. You know, none of these guys was out there. And I'm willing to, I don't care who man it is.
So you're the original.
I'm just going to stay in facts.
See, all right.
I ask anybody, where was your man at before Th3PeopleVS? You know, I fed this community, you know, this energy, you know, and they came on my platform. I must state that. But, you know, I don't, you know, it's always jockeying. And I don't have to jockey because, you know, I've been, you know, like I state, you know, I have no problem in staying to YouTube. You know, I was the first one that went on YouTube and started getting mega hits. None of these guys was here yet. And you can go and they'll tell you that. So I'm just stating facts. So when it comes to laying this community down, they benefited from a lot of the groundwork that I done. But you know, it's an economic thing, and when brothers and get to, they tend to think about the money first. And so I had some difficulties in the end of the year with a debate that me and Young Pharaoh was supposed to have with, the Arm and Rod Squad, and they ready to fill their pockets up, and they're not, genuine about black power. And so I'm not getting stuck, time. And I love building the community up, but when it comes time where you seeing 700 and 800 people in the building, you're not coming to me with crumbs. That day is over with. I done did my groundwork, and I'm not all about money, but you see, this event right here, I love CC and the group, the brothers for, they're managing this project excellent.
Right.
But I had to pay for this.
Okay.
I just want y'all to know that.
So what's your relationship with people like Polite and those individuals?
I mean, we have, we have a certain warrior code where, I don't necessarily agree with everything that they believe in, but because they are working, they say they're working, and I believe till I see otherwise that they're working for the best of the community. So in that instance, I respect them. We have a certain code of conduct, a warrior brotherhood that we have with one another, even though we might get into it, every now and then. That's just what it is, because steel sharpens steel, and every time, it's necessary to get into it every now and then. I'm not here to kiss nobody's butt and we just gonna all hold hands and sing along. A lot of this stuff got to be worked out. You know what I'm saying? And so, us getting into it is just a way of us working this out. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like a lot of people know the gift that I possess, and they try to manipulate it economically. And I just felt like at the end of the year, after what me and Young Pharaoh was going through, because you had these guys all over the YouTube, all over the radio talking about what, they was going to do to us, because we pulled out of it. We pulled out of it, because you're not about to, you about to make mega money. That was about to be a big event, and quite possibly pulling in 30-something thousand at the door, pulling in 30-something thousand on the internet. You're not about to come to me with no $2,000. I don't care who don't like it. You can go somewhere, I ain't gonna say enough. And so that's what happened. And then after once we pulled out, it was threats and, people talking about they looking for us in New York, because we had got another venue. We was gonna do it at another venue, but, unfortunately somebody, called Young Pharaoh parole officer. He's making moves as a revolutionary. He probably was doing, he probably supposed to have been in Buffalo where he was, And by them calling and snitching on the brother, we had to get out of New York. So he didn't get in, he didn't get in trouble. And so, a couple weeks later, then, based on the turmoil that it caused, and the killing part about it, this is why I don't have no bone. Nobody called to check on me. Then nobody called to check on Pharaoh. These guys was all over the internet talking about, literally on the internet, on the phone, talking about they was gonna hurt us. I didn't hear one elder from the community call. I didn't hear Dr. Umar would just be called and say, Seti, is y'all all right? This, that, and the third. About a week later, he was talking about having a tribunal. I'm like, a tribunal? See, that was a step to power.
Right. Tribunal with the elders then?
Yeah, because of what was going on. But I blatantly just said to Umar, look, bro, there's a lot of information on the internet. I'm not justifying none of it. But a lot of people are asking questions about you. So what is you asking for a tribunal for me for? Nigga, I need to be asking a tribunal for you. I didn't do that because out of the respect that I have, I don't step in polite business. A lot of people say polite, that's polite. Y'all deal with polite. If y'all say y'all had a business deal, then deal with it. Don't ask me to get in the same with Umar. You never heard me say nothing out in the open for. So when he came out and said it needed to be a tribunal and anybody that don't show up should be banned and he the biggest. Yeah, he did a video and I responded to it like, nigga, mind your business. That's what I said. And I tell him today, right now, anybody, I never spoke, even against, you know, what a lot of people got controversy about the money and this, that. You ain't never heard Seti make a video talking about what Umar did. You ain't never heard me make a video about Polite. So I felt like when he made that video, he stepped out of bounds. Because he's not big as what he think, not messing with me. You know, because I know a lot of people love him, but I got the streets on lock. Okay, you can bet that. I got it on lock. I know that. You know, so I feel like you would just start making unnecessary, you know, waves. You was making and especially at a time where me and Pharaoh, we was in danger, you know, and like I said, what really pissed me off is didn't nobody check on us. No elders, nobody, not even family from Detroit. I say, damn.
But I think online, I think the one two people ever did respond to that they wasn't really happy with Uma's behavior, so to speak. You know, at least it's one or two, you know. But I just want to jump here because what's your relationship with people like the Nation of Islam? I mean, what's your work relationship with them, man?
Well, you know what, I have respect for the historical Nation of Islam. I'm a follower of Khalid Abdul Muhammad, and now and the defilement of Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Matter of fact, I've been a part of the Nation of Islam for a very long. Because my great grandfather were black Muslims. You know, coming out of Detroit, that's where it started. You know, I had a lot of uncles in the Nation of Islam. And so, my first real awakening, even though I was looking at my uncles, was through Malcolm X. When the movie came out, it really sparked something in me. I went in, the Malcolm X, I went to buying everything Malcolm, the speeches. And honestly, man, I just fell in love with Malcolm X.
Right.
I fell in love with Malcolm X. And, I didn't know about the controversy of his murder and this, that, and the third. And, I was studying Farrakhan, running home every Friday, young man, listen to that broadcast they used to have on the radio, put my tape in and hit record. And, but when that movie came up and the controversy came up, I didn't know about the controversy. And when Farrakhan's name came up, and then all of the history, I'm just sitting back watching as a young man, I'm like, wow. I've seen the movie, but Farrakhan's name was, and then when they started throwing Farrakhan's name in it, and it just took the wind out of me with the Nation of Islam. I say, nah. If this man has something to do with the killing of a black prophet like that, that's not an organizer, and that's not a man that I want to follow. Okay. So around 18, I left. Respect for Elijah Muhammad, respect for Malcolm X, respect for Khalid, but I just got to disdain with the modern Nation of Islam for the simple fact you got two of the greatest of our prophets, Malcolm and Khalid, where you disdain two great prophets. Yeah, you didn't did two, not one, but you didn't did two. You know what I'm saying? And so
something that
and then you got rid of Khalid Muhammad, and then right before I started, he brought in Ron L. Hubbard. How you gonna get rid of Khalid Muhammad and then bring in Ron L. Hubbard?
Yeah.
I say, man, I'm done with you cats. Straight up, so that's how I feel about it.
Is the old saying, Seti, once bitten, twice shy.
That's true.
So moving on from the whole, you and I was having a conversation. And I was being up front and straight when you were.
That's right. Appreciate that too.
When I first saw you, I told you what I thought. But then when I saw you at a video, now I said, yeah, this youth are going with something. And I'm gonna say it live now that you are a powerful young man.
Thank you, bro.
You understand? Probably more powerful than you think you are. Yeah. Because we know say, you're not afraid to say you have things on lock. But I don't think you realize how lucky you have it. You're able to get to the young people then, and you were quite clear with yourself, the 35 and unders, you have that group, and they listen to you, and even over here, because you speak that kind of genre. We who's in the studio, we grew up in England, so we don't use that N-word.
That's right.
Yeah, and we don't like it.
That's right.
It's like it tears something out when we hear it.
Kind of puts you off.
Yeah,
and it does.
And when I hear any of my brethren whom we love passionately from the Americas, but too much fun that I switch off.
Yeah.
But even though I know you have a message the same, but you see when you're going, so we don't want to hear it, because to me, I did hear young MX was breaking down words. To me, that is our semantics, because white man word we use. None of we now speak fluid language. Yeah, we're speaking of an amalgamation of some of our old African dialect. We mix up with whatever slave master did that with. So whether Spanish, French, English, Dutch, whatever it is. So none of us not really speaking our true tongue. See? Moving away from that, tell us a bit about how things, because Donald Trump now is now president of the United States.
Oh, man.
Tell me what's the reaction of the people out there, and how you personally feel about that?
Well, in America, man, you just don't know what'll happen. And for him to get into power, it basically shows that the average little poor white man and poor white woman then finally got them somebody in office, because that's who he catered to, and that's how he acted. And so when we understand the poor white trash in America, that's the Aryan Nation, that's the Ku Klux Klan. You know what I'm saying? That's who that is. And so a lot of his major advisors are white supremacists. So, it's almost like, we expecting almost anything to happen with this man. We're expecting almost anything to happen. Race riot, not just a riot, but we expected all the things that our people have planned, said would happen, that they would try to move in and put us in concentration camps, that he the one that can do that and don't have a bone about it. You know what I'm saying? So right now we in the heat. We're in the heat, and a lot of people are like deers in the headlights, man. They don't know what they're gonna do. And this man could hit the button. He counseling, and I'm no Obama fan, but he not paying. He don't intend to give black people nothing. He's taking it all back. He don't intend, and he's on some Hitler. He's like a Hitler right now to me, because he's looking at the Europeans like y'all owe us. We tired of, that's what he's saying. America is fronting a lot of these military operations. I heard he put like a $300 billion bill in front of the head of Germany. Yeah. And they up in arms about that. So this man he on some world conquest right now, man. Straight up. He on some world conquest right now, man. So y'all better watch out. You know what I'm saying? You better watch out, man, because we ain't the only one that got to deal with the chump. Trump, but Donald Trump. We ain't the only one that got to deal with him. I don't even think the British too fond of they ain't fond of Trump, because they really look at him as Pope. Even though he got money, he's not one of those elite families like that. So they look at him like, he got a couple dollars. He's a chump. He's a chump. You don't hang with we above you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
Well, him lose the he was trying to move to cancel the Obamacare, but him lose. Well, him never lose. Him cancel trying to...
You didn't want to be embarrassed.
Didn't want to be embarrassed, yeah. God was advised not to do because...
Well, see, the thing is...
I don't even have to support our own party.
Man, listen here. Anything say Obamacare, but white people were benefiting from that. Mm-hmm. You know, them senators ain't about to cancel them people insurance, man. Mm-hmm. Either they gonna lose their position, and so that's where he failed to understand that, you know, them Republicans, even though they not for us, a lot of they, you know, they got to, you know, the supporters of their state. They got to make sure that they happy. Mm-hmm. And so to start taking them people's insurance and canceling their insurance, man, you're not going to get voted back in. So that's where he lost that. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody is not for Donald Trump, man. Mm-hmm. Not even the white people. They're not for him. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised. You know, you see how the FBI is pushing, you know, investigate him, his cabinet, his son-in-law over dealing with them Russians. Mm-hmm. Right. You know, talking with them Russians at the time, you know, they voting for president, and you plotting with them, and you know, you gonna release information on Hillary and Donald Trump, man.
Moving from there, I wanted to ask you a particular question. Now, in the entertainment business in America, United States, there's a lot of our people that is at the echelons of that society. And there's two particular characters that I would like you to give me a comment on. The first one is the brother that turned down the 50 million.
Dave Chappelle.
But recently, the young man who used to host that talent show.
Oh, Nick Cannon.
Yeah. Him leave and write a big letter why I'm leaving. I thought that being in the entertainment industry for so long, that this stuff, Africans in America would have been able to kind of deal with that. Wouldn't have to be under subjugation again. You know, what's your opinion of that?
Still, you know, not in power. You're getting paid, but you're not in power. You know, we've never been able to, you know, put a organization together. I mean, we had Motown. You know, that was one institution where we had that was all black. You know, on the masters, but you know, once they bust Motown, you know, then even in the rap game, you had Death Row that came along. You know, you had Sugar. You know, he's a beast. You know, but that's how you got to be. You know, he beasted his way and owned the masters, and man, they've sold over 100 million copies, but they do not want black people to own that music because they need for that music to deteriorate the mind. They don't want black people to own because they know music, that drum is the elixir to our soul. And once if you get that drum moving and you put the right information, you can wake up the whole nation. So, you know, most definitely Dave Chappelle, you know, he fought a good fight. I believe the brother is breaking because when you don't have backup, you know, you don't have, it would be something different like if all entertainers, all comedians, all music came together and backed one another in a time of crisis.
Let me bring in this, because I kind of studied the Medinetra.
Okay, come with it.
Yeah. If it wasn't deciphered, and what did he use to decipher? What
he used the Rosetta Stone.
The Rosetta Stone, which is done on the British teeth.
That's right.
Right? And of the D, was it the Demonic? I think of the Greek.
It was the hieroglyphs, and then you had the Demotic, and you had the Greek at the supposed Greek at the bottom.
No. If it wasn't deciphered, all then would Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Van Sertima, Sheikh Anta Diop, and certain other great historians. But Dr. Ben did a lot of research himself. And go down there and do a lot of research himself. But Dr. Ben did tell me he's still enough. He said that there was 5 Medinetra.
spoke to you personally?
Spoke to me personally, right there, Britain.
Yeah.
I had Dr. Ben talk to me too, and I had Dr. Ben say that you cannot speak it.
You can't speak
Okay,
it.
then, well, then when you look at the words without the vowels, is there anybody to tell me how you can define some words you cannot speak?
Well, the thing about it is this, right? If you remember right, and I know you know this information, but I think it was drawn about 200 and something after the Coming Era. Was it Emperor Theodorus? Theodorus is in the ban and shut down all the
Theodosius,
yeah. In ban and shut down all the temple them and ban made in nature.
That's right.
Yeah. So speaking it, he is in ban everything. But if you remember rightly, before that, yeah, it was the history of Kemet was written by Manetho.
Who never lived. He's
High Priest Manetho.
He's a fictional character. Though.
So how you come about that then? So all of them come with that information. So that all that information wrong then?
All of that information is fabricated. That information is fabricated. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a beast researcher. Now listen here, even when you're talking about the Greeks, if you're talking about Herodotus, I ask anybody to bring me the oldest manuscript. See, they giving these guys dates that you cannot prove based on evidence. You see, Manetho, there is no physical remains of any original book from Manetho. Only thing they know of Manetho is what another man wrote of him. So you don't have no original book from Manetho. You have no, matter of fact, you don't have none in the BC era. The oldest Herodotus, when you start bringing up these guys, their book, if they do bring it's a fragment of a page. It's never a whole page. In Egypt, where you have so many papyruses, you have so much writing, that shows institution. Institution is when you have thousands of learned scribes. The Greeks did not have institution. They did not have massive. Matter of fact, I dare anybody, I'll be here till Monday, to bring me the oldest manuscript written in Greek. And you're not going to find Plato, Socrates, Manetho. All of those are fictional characters to help extend the white man into the BC era. That's the only thing it's there for, but in actuality, you cannot prove the existence of their man.
Yeah, but the dates that they use for Manetho, they don't use that as Egyptologists. They don't use those dates. They don't use those dates, because those dates go back further than them. The dates them use is go back to 3,500, but Manetho go back further.
Herodotus did too.
Yeah.
But that don't exclude the fact that you don't have no ancient manuscript. At the time they say Manetho lived, you have no manuscript written by Manetho.
If you remember rightly, the Library of Alexandria, they with the Arabs, them they burn it down. They burn it down, and a lot of manuscripts that last this up.
Yeah.
What them didn't lose, them teeth. Yeah. So them is in three places. Them there under the Vatican. Them there the British Teeth Museum, and some of them there Russia.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. So we don't have access to that information. You see my deal? But what I'm saying is this: is that if the ancient Cometians existed, which we know they did,
that's right,
because we've seen the temples, we've been into the tombs, we've been to Egypt all over time, so have I. Yeah? They must have spoke a language. It doesn't mean that we can't speak the language now because we don't know it, but it doesn't mean the language was not spoken.
I didn't say it wasn't spoken, but we just talked about going through the mystery system. And it took you 40 years to go from degree to degree. You're not just going to put a fake language together and unlock. That's just like the caduceus sign is a symbol for medicine. But how many different branches of medicine is it? You can't put a letter under the caduceus and think you would unlock all of the sciences of medicine. You have to sit your butt in a class and you have to get educated in that. And so what they've done is they've created a fake language to give the perception that they know the knowledge without going 40 years through the system. Champollion did not do 40 years.
No, it did not.
None of them crackers did. Foreigners were not allowed into the mystery system. Foreigners were not allowed into the system.
Yeah, but what Dr. Ben said to me, I asked what Dr. Ben said. Dr. Ben said to me, he said to me there's 5 sectors of literature. Right? They have only been able to read 1. Other 4 they don't know nothing about it. They can't decipher. Dr. Ben tell me that all the time. In fact, tell me, tell me Virginie Koja and Kuumba, that same thing.
Yeah, but the one he's discussing is a trade language. It's not the craft system, though. You're talking about demotic, but see, that's trade language. That's you, and then you got to understand, see, and then you have people that try to bring up different Nubian languages, and that's cool. But what you have to understand that not all Egyptians and not all Nubians was initiated into the craft. So just getting a common Nubian or a common Egyptian language does not suffice for the language of the priests. And so when I'm being clear about that, the metal letter has not been deciphered. I am talking about the language that was taught to the priests that built them pyramids. Now, if you, and again, if you translate it, the ultimate proof of your translation would be to duplicate what was done. And if you have not duplicated, I'll prove it beyond any reasonable doubt that you have not translated in the way that the priest knew it. Now, there's common understanding, and Dr. Benoff, you have a common understanding of the gods. And that's what people are trying to put off as the language of the priests, and that's not going to work. Because that language that's on them tablets is the language of the priests. And that's why I want to be clear. You know, it is not to destroy, but to let these people know, when you're talking about the sacred language of the gods, do you see the sacrilegiousness in that, to have a white boy that could go in? That's like going in the Holy of Holies and taking out our statues and out of the Holy of Holies. We can't allow that to happen. That's sacrilegious. Our ancestors would turn over in their grave if they knew that we was looking to a white boy as the origin of our Medunet.
So can I just ask you this, because Malachi York, he bought pyramids in America.
Yeah.
And the next thing is Phoenician was a skill of applying the sound to the symbols which were created by Kemet. So there was a form of, I know you say it's trade language, but there was a form of Africans that did apply the sound to the symbols called the Phoenicians.
They could have done that.
And the Phoenician, and that sound is used in the English language today. The
but the Phoenician come out of the Demotic, which is a trade language.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I'm saying.
So you dealing with a trade language, not dealing with. And Demotic was, when you dealing with Demotic, you don't find Demotic on no papyrus. You don't find Demotic on no temples. You do not find the Demotic comes around 600 BC. So you still, and then you have in the Greek language come around supposedly around 200 AD. And then you got Coptic, another bastard language that you should not have used because it's a lower Egyptian language. And even Chancellor William bust that open in Destruction of Black. That Lord Kemet had been compromised 2000 BC. So you can't go to Coptic to find ancient Egypt. You have to go to Ethiopia. And that's what none of these translators, white translators, ever did. As a matter of fact, if you go right now and Google it and you look up Afro-Asiatic languages, which they considered Coptic a part of. If you look at the map and the legend of all the language they consider to be Afro-Asiatic, not one African language south of the Sahara, outside of Ethiopia, is a part of the Afro-Asiatic language. So, but then when you look at Aramaic and Arabic and Hebrew, and see, that's what people don't understand what happened when they start translating in that Medunetta. They started adding a lot of Hebrew, Aramaic, and all them other languages that had nothing to do with it from the beginning. And that's why a lot of it sound alike. Like when we say Amen, but we being correct, it's not Amen. It's just M-N. That's it. You can add the vowel at your discretion, so it don't have to be Amen. You know, it could be, again, it could be Omen. It could be, you know, you can add the vowels to it. It could be you, you know, it's just like if you go into French, you know, French got more vowels than English. So if you look at the way that they spell Ramesses, look at the way the Russians, each language spells that word. If they add their own vowel, it's a different spelling. So that shows you the bastardization of that methodology, because there's only one terminology that's correct. That's the one of our ancestors. So with the fake methodology, they've created all these words that have never been spoken by our ancestors.
I mean, but basically the Phoenicians applied African Kemetic applied sounds to the symbols.
Okay.
These sounds, they had knowledge of what the sounds meant, because if you look at Hebrew language, it's they've taken the sound and Latin, they've taken and twisted the sound to keep us under their spell. So they had a science of the knowledge, they had a form of knowledge what the Commissions brought when they applied the sound to the symbol. I know it's a lower form of language, but then the Europeans got some of the science and twisted everything on the spell. So, and that knowledge went through, if you look at the Hebrew alphabet, it's an exact copy of the Phoenician alphabet, letter for letter, sound for sound. So basically, there's a form of deciphering that if you look back at the language, that you can break the spell that the Europeans and the Westerns have put in language, what was reinterpreted by the Phoenicians.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just want to add, but what I'm saying is that's a common language, though. I'm not saying it's not African, but it's the common African language. But that was not, and I'm being strict, the language of the priests.
No, but
that's what I'm being strict.
You're correct there, because the Phoenicians were traders. That's what they were famous for. They're shipping, and they controlled the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. The Phoenician, they call them Phoenician pirates and all that stuff. So that would tie in what you say in terms of it's a trade language. I just wanted to stipulate that part.
And then, just then, I ain't gonna go too much, because you know, right after they closed, you spoke about the closing of the Egyptian temples. Yes. You know what happened after they closed the Egyptian temples? The Western European Empire went into a dark age. That's proof that the Greeks and Romans didn't get nothing out of Egypt. They went into a dark age. You're gonna go to Egypt and get knowledge like that and go into a dark age and then the African had to come and wake you back up out of it. So if they had anything that they had learned from ancient Egypt, they would have proved it. They would have proved it. They did not do that.
I hope everybody's enjoying this today. This is just a snippet.
That's right.
Kind of things that SaraSutenSeti is going to be laying down for us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the West Indian Cultural Centre, 11 till 4 on a Saturday. You turn up 5 to 11, you ain't going to get no seat. The place is going to be rammed. We're going to be doing the same thing again. 4 till 9 on a Sunday. You turn up 5 to 4, you ain't gonna get a seat, the place is gonna be rammed out. This is just a snippet of the kind of things that Seti's gonna be talking about. I myself, I'm the youngest in the room, best looking as well. I'm 28, yeah. I'm hearing, I'm lovely to see the older brothers. That's what I'm talking about.
Looks, you know.
The older people in the room right now, older than me, are all talking about some serious subjects today. But I know that Seti's very passionate about the things that we should be doing today as well. So we're talking about things that happened thousands of years ago, but we're also talking about today. So why is it important that we talk about the two of these subjects concurrently? Why is it important that we discuss the value of our ancient Egyptian wisdom that we should be able to unlock, and we discuss that alongside the problems and predicaments we're in today and how we can address it?
You know what? You gonna answer? You want me to?
You answer.
I know you can though, but you know, I just feel like, you know, based on the information that's out there, and you know, you leading our people down another path that's not going nowhere. If what I'm telling you is correct, I don't care how much you like it. I don't care how much goodness may be added to it, because we'll sprinkle sugar on you know what and serve it to the people and call it jello. So I don't care how much, you know, right spirituality you might have added to it. It's another pitfall for our people. Don't lie to the people and tell them something like this, and when you know that it's not true, Okay, and I know based on a lot of these scholars out here, they know some of the information that I'm talking is correct, but they've been benefiting off of it. Just like any preacher, I don't give a damn if they like it or not, benefited off the Bible, and they allow for the people to believe that this was true. And then when they saw that I was coming, they wanted to pull out, but it was too late because too many people didn't heard you talking. Too many people didn't heard you talking. And the thing is, this is the road that we go down, and then we go down them for 50 and 60. Look at the civil rights movement. We was on some nationalism. We was dealing with Garvey. Then here come this nigga talking about, well, let's integrate, let's get a job, let's go to school with white people. And then we ain't been, that's why we ain't on nationalism seriously like we was right now, because of that wrong turn. And people saying it was the right thing to go to the white man's school. We did it for 50 years. We got more degrees than we ever had. Our people worse off than they ever been. Okay? So we can't keep telling the people to go down these roads that lead nowhere. And so I felt like it was my obligation to shake this up, to let the people know that y'all got this work to do. This shit y'all know, that ain't work, man. Y'all got work to do. Y'all following roads that lead to nowhere. That the work that you must do is in Africa. You got all these people speaking African metal. Ain't now one of them been to Africa. They worse than the white boy. The white boy created the language up in his attic. Never been to Africa. That's what I'm talking about. This is what they not talking about. White boy had never been to Africa. Not one, he been after the fact, but he had already presented the hieroglyphic dictionary before he even went to African. Didn't ask one African nothing. And I don't care what no black, they are using elements of his methodology. I don't care. I can point it out. They're using that white boy's methodology, so you can sprinkle all the Dogon, all the Nubian, all the methodology is corrupt and is fraudulent. And you cannot sprinkle sugar on shit and serve it to the people and call it Jello pudding, man. Straight up.
And can I answer that? But basically, what I said, that any knowledge that did come from the Phoenicians that applied the sounds to the symbols got shut down. They shut down that knowledge and twisted it around and played with the sound and turned us into a clown, because the so-called people who say they can translate and make the nature, they're using the Europeans' terminology without understanding what the terminology is they're using. They don't understand the grammar, which is the switch. And for instance, I know you said the word, but semantics. People just, when you're on point, because when I went to the BBC, the same word they throw at me, semantics. When you're on the point, they'll throw a word to say to them what you're talking is rubbish. But when you look at semantics, you've got lexicon semantics, which is the implication, and you've got logical semantics, which is the meaning. So you've got to understand the grammar to stop being programmed by the grammar and act in your right manner, in this manner. So basically, the language has been taken over, and through, I can see where SETI is coming from now. We're using somebody else's reaction to define ourselves. If a dog barks at you, says, you don't start calling yourself,
But you know, I'm gonna end on there. I don't want to add no more to it, you know, because you know, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't know, the brother right here, he been with Dr. Ben a long time. I remember they used to say Dr. Ben could not read the metal now. When Dr. Ben said that you could not speak it, which I got him on video saying it, he was falling out with them, and people don't want to speak about that that divide. I know about it. People can act like it's not there between those who would choose Sheikh Dia, who were more in line with the metal that is speaking it, and Dr. Ben, who's more esoterical, where you had to go through the degrees to get your information. Okay, so I remember them saying that Dr. Ben could not read the Maduna. And so it's been a divide in this community for a long time about that. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that I had to vindicate Dr. Ben, because it was hurting. I said, man, what do you mean they saying Dr. Ben can't read the Maduna? This the Grand Master, this the high priest. of the crowd, but there is a divide in it that don't nobody want to talk about. And so I'm of age now, you know, I did my studies. I'm ready to war now, you know what I'm saying? I can't get nobody to war with me because they know that the information is right and correct. I got the documentation right from the white boys. I ain't gonna say no more. I ain't gonna say no more about it.
So would you say then, Seti, that debate between you, Pharaoh, and the Arman Ra squad never happened because they never wanted the information?
They didn't want the information. That's why they wanted the intellectual property. So even if we knocked them upside their head, that they will own the property. And then this man gonna come a week later talking about some tribunal. That shit was all set up. Come on, man. They knew what time. They knew I had the fire. They knew I had. Come on, man. You can say what you want. I've been studying under Dr. B and Dr. Clark. They taught me well. They taught me how to do research. I'm not no fool now. And so they knew that I had the ability to knock them on their head. So even though they knew we was gonna give a powerful presentation, they wanted to own the information to where we couldn't even put it in a book.
Well, Seti, I don't know the Arman Ra squad. Yeah, what I would say is true. what I would say, there's three sides to a story.
Mm-hmm.
There's your side,
that's
there's
right.
their side, and then there's the truth.
That's right.
You see me at DV King? So we're gonna get your side of the story. Would it be nice if we can get the Arman Ra squad and hear for them said? But what I would say is this. What I would say is this. My agenda is a total liberation of our people.
That's right.
That's my agenda.
That's right.
And it's that by any means necessary. So me now go fuel your fire for just big you up really. Because the man them not there. Me big you up same but me big them up same because information. Any African who's coming to awaken the pineal gland of our people, yeah, who's sick and lost and is in the desert, I wonder. Me I support them. You see me I deal with? Right? So Uma come here, we embrace him.
That's right.
Irritated Genie come here, we embrace him.
That's right.
And now you have come here, we embrace you.
That's right.
Because you are our family.
That's right.
You understand me I say?
That's right.
And family always have an argument.
That's right.
Because me have an argument in my own relatives, some of them in them talk to. You understand me I say? Because when you move on this road here, even in your own family, your bloodline, them are going to turn against you.
That's right.
You see me I deal because you're dealing with sensitive information and in fact very dangerous information. Because this is a make no deals about this. This road that we are on is a dangerous road.
I know that.
Yeah, and them a watch it. You understand? So all me I say because I know so them a look for wrap up the show now, but all me I say to Seti, walk good and just stay focused, my youth. You understand me I say? Right? And don't make nobody turn you over. Just do your things and do it with respect. You understand me I say?
I respect that.
Yeah? That's all me I say, King.
That's right.
Me never meet you. Me see.
I'm a good brother, man. I ain't the terror they say I am, man.
Me never meet you, me see upon the video, but me meet you now, and me get a different vibe. You understand me as a family?
So I'm a good brother, man. I wish well.
Man. Me like the fire. That means a fire like fire, you know. I like the fire, you know. So go on and do your things, and may the ancestors and the creating force of the universe, the omnipotent being that which is greater than ourselves, watch you over you and bless you. Yeah?
Thank you, brother.
Getting back to the UK, seeing the reparation march was one of the things where we saw all groups come together. So I wanted to ask you, in America, are they into the reparations and getting together? Do they make a visible, because in the UK, was it 2 years ago when we made that visible march of saying, you know, we're all one?
We do it last year. We did it last year.
Yeah. You know what? I hear people speaking about it, but I don't see the major push. I think the last probably major push was Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? And, he was talking about taking the United States to World Court for, you know, crimes against our people and reparations. But I haven't heard anything, you know, further, not on a major level, you know, because, you know, we've been fighting for it down through the ages, and it's just in the white man's heart that he's not going to give it to us. You know, he's not going to give it to us. It's just, he's not going to give it to us. You know, and so, you know, at least he won't do it freely. You know what I'm saying? And so I still feel that our people should fight for it because it's our heritage. We would inherit that from our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no inheritance. That's why we're in the predicament we're in. So we should fight for it. But the white man do not have the will to give up his empire. You can't ask that man to give up his empire because I wouldn't do it. And I'm not evil, but we talking about power, man.
Yeah.
And you talking about if you give these people back what you done took, then you over with. You basically over with. So he's not going to diminish his empire.
There's a two-pronged thing of the reparation movement. The first pronged thing is reparatory justice, yeah?
Okay.
And to repair the damage that has been done.
Okay.
And that repair, we have to do that.
Okay.
Him can't do that.
Right.
I think that when we talk about reparation, we get caught up in the financial compensation.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
And I think that's what you was just talking about, the compensation part, the money part. There will be the years of time that we do and all them stuff.
And rank and file and all type of, a lot of...
But there's another side to it, and that is a big movement.
Okay.
And that's about us repairing, us working together as Africans to repair the damage that has done.
Right.
Hence why the line of questioning by the elder there in terms of what happened with your Oman thing, that's part of the repair. That's what we need to repair. We need to repair us looking at each other in a way with why you are doing that and me jealous you. Because the white man put that in us. That's something that's been put in us. And Chancellor Williams said we've been fighting a war against them for 6,000 years.
6,000.
Yeah? And on the other day we are fighting them, you know. So when people look at Africa today, yeah, and look at African people worldwide, that's not something that just happened overnight. They have been attacking us. We have been repelling them. Tutmosis have to run them, and then Ramesses have to run them,
that's right.
And then Shabak have to run them, and Pianki have to run them. You know, then Azinga have to fight them. So it's, you know, Hannibal have to run them, and then the Moors have to deal with them. So it's not the other day we've been fighting the wicked.
That's right.
So the repertory work now, yeah, is for us to repair that damage that they have done to us. Because we're suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome.
We are.
Yeah, and even those of us who claim that we are conscious, we still have a little European in a way. Right. So the day me looking in the mirror, me trying to kill a little piece of him. Every day. You understand? Because you know, because we're born amongst him, we go in school, we watch him telling. It takes a lot to even do what you're doing, or even what we are doing in this room today. So, the reparations movement, yeah, is not just about financial gain. What it is about us gaining power enough, not to ask him for nothing, but to demand.
That's right.
Yeah, because demand and request is two different things. Because you demand from a position of power. So when him go any negotiation, the white man going around the world, in going negotiation because he is militarily powerful to impose himself on other people. So the reparation movement is not just about money; it's about repairing damage. And we don't
need to happen too.
And you know, I want to reason with you about that still differently because maybe we can do something simultaneously at the same time. So 1st of August every year we do it.
Okay.
And we march from Brixton to Parliament, and we're making a demand, and we not ask them for nothing. We know they're not giving no money thing, you know, but it's about galvanizing our
That's
people.
right.
Right, and our people see that we can organize.
That's right.
And from that, now we can do other things.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's part of the repairing.
What day? What month and day is that?
It's August the 1st we do.
August the 1st, all right.
August the 1st, every year.
Okay.
We started in 2014, we did it 2015, and we did it in 20. We locked down the city.
Good. Might have to get over here when you lock it down.
Do that? Yeah. Greetings.
Greetings, Brother David.
Yes, greetings, my sister.
and greetings to your guests that you have in the studio this evening, this morning, I should say.
Peace.
You taking notes?
Sorry?
Are you taking notes?
Well, there was so much information, I just thought, wow, the wealth of knowledge that's in that room is a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, right about that, yeah.
But there's one question I would like to ask you again, which is, how would you say that we need to be moving forward as a people in America and the States? And does it make sense that whatever, because obviously the Americans, whatever happens in America, that eventually it has a knock-on effect on us over here. How does he foresee the future with the new president which they have in, and what would he say to his people that we should be doing in putting ourselves in a stronger and better position?
Oh, very good question. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a very good question. And I mean, yeah, this is better than mine. Well, of course, you know, fighting in America like we do every day, because we don't have, you know, businesses of our own, we don't have an economy of our own. We have to redirect all our resources back into our community, which we, you know, is easily said, but you know, our people just can't seem to do it. Marcus Garvey taught us this. It's nothing extraordinary that we don't know. Our elders didn't laid it out for us. Malcolm laid it out for us, Colin, but you know, the fear of the white man, because of how he has terrorized us. Maybe a lot of our people around the world just really don't know how much that, you know, they physically terrorize blacks in America. They see the rappers, they see the movie stars, this, that, and the third, but you know, America has a very ugly history of creating, you know, committing some of the greatest human atrocities on this planet.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so in that state of fear, our people are scared to try to move towards, you know, true liberation. We saw what happened in Tulsa, not just Tulsa, Rosewood, and a lot of other prominent black cities. So, you know, economics alone just won't stop, you know, the wrath of the white man. So our people have been put in a perpetual fear where they've just, you know, scared to make that move. And that's really what is causing us to be in the predicament we're in today. So we eventually gonna have to build up our courage to look that fear down. You know, every time we talk about, you know, getting in a scrap with the white man, you know, people don't want to hear about even a little small scrap.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. We don't want to fight nobody. I mean, the fact that we're so defeated, we've allowed other races. We've allowed the Hispanics to come into America and put a stronger foothold in the economy than blacks. And then, you know, the Asians is going to be next. You know, so we've fallen behind damn near every race in America because of our fear of the white man. You know, and so if we don't get over it, I mean, we headed toward its extinction. We can't.
But
go ahead.
Sorry, wouldn't you say that it's due to obviously our history and what our experiences that have created that fear of being exterminated by other races? So we think that if we keep ourselves in the background or be quiet, that they might overlook us and we'll just continue to survive just nilly-nilly because they can't see us. But really, in fact, we know that what's on the agenda for us is that we keep all the other races, you know, financially in good gain, but we just need to take action, like I say, and do something more constructive in, you know, directing where money should be spent and where it should go. There was some article I was watching, one of brother was saying that he went to withdraw all his money and went to a black bank. And I thought, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And unfortunately with my thoughts at the time when I saw it was, well, how long is this money going to be there? And instantly I just thought, what on earth are you saying? You're thinking exactly as how you've been programmed to think.
Well,
and I think if it's me who consciously thinks we have to be moving forward and we have to be putting our money in the right places for our people so that we can have access to our money and do what we need to do instead of being held back, not being allowed to build our business the way we're supposed to. Then for people who think, well, the JOB thing and I've got to work and I'm just mediocre, then it's going to be very difficult for those people to take action as what you say. So if you are, or if the person out there is a strong leader that can help educate and enlighten people as to the way forward, because in any nation, in any people, you've got to have a leader and you've got to have people who are prepared to take. So listen to, see the vision of that leader and work with that leader to make the change that is needed for a brighter future.
okay, that's a good point, sister. But even looking at industries that if we wanted to dominate, we could dominate. Look at the rap game. You see, look at the rap game. See, when I was coming up and the rap thing was first coming in, it was a bridge that between the older generation that listened to Motown music. In the rap game, I used to hear it. Our elders would tell us that that music gonna last but 10 years, 15 years. That's about $200 trillion later. You know what I'm saying? So when we have opportunities to hit it big, we don't have faith in one another. The hair industry, our sisters is keeping if it wasn't for our sisters, Korea and China been fell down. Our sisters keeping them through the beauty supplies. And we go to the beauty supplies too, but they know our sisters want to look good. They know our sisters been looking good since, but that's something that the sisters could control. They could make all the makeup and all the hair, we putting other people's hair in our head. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what, but that's what I'm saying. It's right there. It's not like it's you got to come up with some extraordinary. The plan is right there. But why won't our people step up and seize even corporations that they could easily seize? You can, but you don't do it. So right there with the hair, with the music, even a lot of sports, because we had the Negro League. You see what I'm saying? We can generate money if they get back to that and create another black league and then play. But that's not good enough. They're gonna go play for the white man. Because a lot of those athletes, if they did try to do something, they would come up dead, or they would scrutinize them to the point that they were shamed in front of the world. Muhammad Ali, he was one of those, and so you're not gonna have no Muhammad Ali's that's really gonna step out there and stand for the people like that. So if the people that do have money, like all these entertainers, if they don't lead the way, they supposed to lead the way. Why isn't at least 2, 3 of them? Out of all of them, even if it ain't all of them, why you can't get 2, 3 of them?
That's right.
To come, that let you know that every one of them been checked already. They know the rules. Now you can be a Dave Chappelle, you can try to step out, you gonna be humiliated.
Look up to Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, all of them, each one of them, so they have something on them at some point in time. So, it's separation is the key, sister. Eventually, it got to come with, because of the white man nature, if we live with white people, we gonna always have these conditions, because that's their nature. That's it, that's their nature. We have to separate from them. That's what Garvey said, that's what Malcolm said, that's what College said. Separation is the key, you know what I'm saying? We have to have our own independent sovereign nation. and then we can build that nation so that we can prosper like we want to prosper. But it's impossible for us to prosper like we want to prosper with white people in power.
You still there?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you finish what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, I was just letting you speak, sister. Well, you know what? The blessed thing is it's a new generation here. And then, you know, like, you know, when you get a little older and you've been working, you know, you got pensions and social in America. You think you got a pension coming, you got a social security. You ain't thinking about no revolution. That nigga thinking about his pension, you know. And I say when I listen, you know, when I use these words, I be using it in jest. The spirit is, you know, I know we're a people, racially we're African people, but our mentality is the word, which it is, and because many times we sweep this word up under the rug, we think all of the actions and the characteristics defining the word is gonna be swept under the rug. It don't happen like that, you know. So sometimes you have to call a spade, and you know it's a lot of niggas on this planet. The white man have implanted that mentality, and they could be racially. And I don't want to mistake, you know, racially we're African, but our social structure is that of the nigga.
Yeah.
It is. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny that, you know? And so, you know, and that's gonna be the one breaking in your house tonight. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no African when he breaking in your house. What is he when he coming through that window? You calling him all kind of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really be a mentality, and you have to deal with these minds. You know, most of the time it takes some. You have to be funny with, you know, a lot of comedians, you know, can teach some truth. That's the way they, you know, our people are educated. You can't crack them up inside the head. Sometimes you have to have some humor, and some of them master comedians can teach. They have you laughing, but they teaching you something. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to, you know, not be so strict on the language to the point. You can tell when somebody trying to teach something, and they might use a word. But if they trying to work with them, you know, because eventually they'll develop. We shut down on our people too quick, you know, with, you know, things that, you know, if you just wait a minute, you will see y'all can get past that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to build a bridge of communication with each other, young and old, and for the sake of the family, you know what I'm saying? So when we do that, and when we start communicating, which I see is happening now, because we all tired of it, and it's starting to get better. It is, you know, it is starting. I know it's still bad, but I see areas where it's starting to get better.
Okay. Sister, I'm just conscious that people want to phone in. But yeah, because we'll take one more question, and then obviously we need to put the pin. But give thanks for your contribution. You really appreciate that. Some very wise words coming from you, and some powerful questions. I said if we want the right question in life, we need to be asking the right question, and you're definitely answering the right question. So give thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. This will be the very last call. The live link number is 07960-239-493. I repeat, 07960-239-493. So this will be the very, last call. And Seti, I did ask the question about why someone read the phone in. The whole thing about religion, yeah. And like I said, we're so bamboozled to do this stuff here. So just break that down to us.
Well, you know, we have to understand that spirituality is a very powerful part of our being as African people. And, but there's some difference between spirituality and religion. Religion is an organized system of spirituality.
Say that again. It's an organized system.
It's an organized system where it has rules and rituals, and you got one book, and you got a clergy that you must report to. And you got ceremonies and all of this. You see, religion is a man-made thing. Once you understand that all religion is man-made and no God ever handed no religion through no sky. Mm-hmm. Ain't never spoken no illiterate man here and told him to write nothing. Mm-hmm. That these is all mythology that give, the man that creates the God is the God. Mm-hmm. He's speaking for the God. When he write in the book, he's writing for the God. So, when you following a religion, you following the man that created the religion. The God is a spook.
Right.
It's a diversion. It's a diversion, man. I just told him on the last radio show that I used to talk to God. I did. And and I'm being honest, and I used to hear voices in my head talking back to me when I asked questions. And I knew it was me that was talking for that voice. And everybody laughed because they know that they're guilty of doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, nobody ever talked to a God. And if they did, he didn't do it. He was by himself. Why don't never right now? And I leave a chair, I leave 4 empty chairs in my front row for God, Jesus, Allah, and I even got one for Buddha.
Okay, what's some other last Buddha?
I got one for Buddha. Ain't now one of them showed up yet.
Hello, greetings.
Greetings.
Oh, greetings.
Greetings, Godfather.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the reasoning on the show, so I just thought I'd come in and say, it's very powerful, very thought-provoking. And I just wanted to ask a very quick question. I know SETI works with people, type and stuff. What I wanted to ask was, how can we, the elders, support and help those people to take their talent and harness it in the right direction?
Oh wow, well for the young, they got a lot of aspirations, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them want to be, musicians, a lot of them want to be athletic superstars, A lot of them, your teams don't even, little guys be out there football, baseball, and basketball. They don't even have equipment. You know what I'm saying? I'm just taking one instance where, if the kids had something to do, like, playgrounds and, having teams that they could join, they would do something different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we can't afford to do that. You know what I'm saying? White kids be out there fully, uniforms and everything. Your team going out there, 2 guys got to share a helmet, this type of, and I'm just being serious. And so, it should be some black organizations that's dedicated to the youth that you can, if you wanted to donate to, some of these organizations, you could. That's what I would personally do, and that's the best thing. That's the best thing, is being able to have things in the community that they can engage in on a daily basis that's gonna keep them out these streets for real. That's what we lacking. Because then when they don't have those things, then they get to doing the dumb stuff, breaking in houses, selling the dope, but most of them kids, if they had things like recreational centers where they could go, they'll have video games in there where they can go in there and play some video games. They have a pool table in there. I done seen that, but we need more than one. We need them type of institutions, and then if you got an institution like that, then I can come in, you know, once every 2 days or something, you know, and give some lessons, you know, in order for them to, you know, enjoy the benefits of what we have there, that they could get some information. And that's what I was doing at Northern. And you don't have to beat them upside the head, but when you give them something, then you can ask for something. You know, we want to ask the youth to do this. You know, a lot of people don't like the fact they wear their pants down. Well, you ain't gave him no job. You didn't do the right thing like Garvey said and get some black businesses in the neighborhood for your own babies. And so now your baby can't get a job. And he walking around disgruntled, and he mad at the world because ain't nobody looking out for him. The white boy, daddy looking out for him. You see, they parents looking, and so then you look at the boy and say, what the hell I'm gonna pull my pants up for? You ain't done nothing for me. You know, so in order for us to ask our babies to do for us, we got to do for them. You know, that's just the bottom line, you know, and once we start doing that, we need to get some institutions together that's going to see about putting community centers in these black neighborhoods so they can have a ground zero, you know, where we can bring them and they can have fun and then we can teach them at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Then we can change some of these minds. That's the best thing, my sister.
Yeah, that was a great answer. I totally agree with you. That, you know, we have to set up the systems, we have to set up the institutions for the young. And I do feel that, I think that they're a bit disappointed with us and a little bit angry with us because they feel we're slower than, you know, like you said earlier on, you know, they're fearless, they really, really go. But it's like, you know, they need to be directed, and I just feel that the young and the old need to work together, but it seems as though there's a gap, you know, a communication gap between the two, and so this is why we have the situation that we have. But what I noticed is young people, when they do have the right direction, they're one of the most powerful of young people, you know, of all generations. This generation of young people are the most powerful, and I don't think that they get enough, you know, they don't get enough, we don't honour them enough, we don't celebrate them enough. We're always telling them what's wrong with them and not telling them what's right. And I think that's something, you know, and I think what you're doing is excellent. You're doing amazing work, opening up, you know, waking up young people. And
I thank you.
Yeah, and the young people that's brought you, you know, got together and brought you out, I'm, you know, really proud of them that they've gone and done something like this that we can all, you know, enjoy and learn from, you know, and I, you know, applaud them for connecting with you,
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
Okay, my sister.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to listen. Thank you.
Someone's burning on the other phone to phone in, and this will be the very last call.
Okay,
yeah?
Bye-bye.
Okay, then give thanks, yeah?
Bye-bye.
Okay then. So, the live big number 07960 239 493. Again, 07960 239 493. Someone's ringing on the other phone number, but bring on this number here. And again, so if you can let people know about the event was taking place.
Just let you know, this week in London's locked down. We're bringing the fire right here.
That's
City
right.
in the building alongside Phil with the live stream.
That's
a
right.
date not to be missed. Do not miss this date taking place at Caribbean Cultural Centre, 9 Caribbean Road, Hornsey, London, N80DJ. Event number 1, Saturday, you can't stay away. It's going to be on April the 1st. There'll be a full on April the 1st. It starts at 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. Event number 2, Sunday, the Great Fire will be burning still on April the 2nd at 4 p.m. till 9 p.m.
Okay, jammers, no up for that thing still, you know? Nice, yeah. Keep the hype going. Greetings! Greetings!
Greetings and peace profound. Positive vibrations for positive solutions. Black power.
Black Power.
Give thanks.
Right, SaraSutenSeti.
What's happening?
I have to give you credit, black man.
Thank you, brother.
You know why?
Why?
If I check in with the National Central Committee, or I check with my chief of staff in America, and I tell them, you've done 3 interviews, and you haven't cursed one, they'll be telling me I'm lying. You're doing good, man.
Hey, man, I'm trying I got many people just don't give me credit for it. They only want to look at what they perceive as the worst of me. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous.
I have to give you credit, man.
Thank you, brother.
But keep up the good work, soldier.
I appreciate it.
I've got you lot.
Appreciate it.
Black Power.
Black Power.
Alright, give thanks. Okay, now, what I want to do now, I'm going to bring this segment to a close. We're going to put a pin in because we're going to have a social discussion at this point here. And as I said, that all roads lead to the Caribbean Conference Center this weekend. So, you can read that to the guys.
Yes. Once again, this Saturday.
And is there a number to contact for the information? Is there a number on there? There's no number on there now. So if people want more information, can they contact anybody?
Terry Riggs Facebook.
There's no number now?
No.
Only on Facebook, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay then.
Yeah, just to wrap up, I just want to say again, Seti, we are very, very happy to have you over here. Appreciate you and everything that you're doing. The PeopleVS are definitely more than happy to accommodate you. And yeah, just guys, make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be such a powerful event. And you know, it's about supporting the community and everybody, you know, just uplifting each other and building as a collective. So please invest in your people, man.
Everything CC and JJ said. Also, listen, if you ain't there, then you know you're basically helping the Caucasian do what he does for us every single time. If you are there, then you're there for the people. Simple as, and your kids. It's all about them. So make sure you're there, man. 100%.
Well, we give thanks and praise to the creating force of the universe, the omnipotent being, which is greater than ourselves as many names. And we give thanks that we don't depend on the wicked to bring our young princes across the water to us, when we can commune with each other respectfully. You understand me? Because right now, you know, them say black people now go on with nothing, but we're going with nothing. You know, so we have studio and we have one thing. And we interview the people and things like that. So we just hope that when we can reciprocate the thing in America and invite we to come burn some fire. Fire down in them place there. So just keep the fire burning, young Seti. I just want to say to young people that move, bring them over. Ross spec, ankle spec, knee spec, eye spec, heart spec. Yeah, committed spec to no. See? If I bring them here. And you see me have a different word with me use. Cause see when me I bring to people, me not educate them, you know. It's Africate, me I Africate people. That we are dealing with. We're Africanize ourselves again. We're re-Africanize ourselves. So what Seti are giving the young people them, it will Africate them. See? So hold on for the word that Seti give that to you. Can you one day? Yeah? And give thanks to SLR, the management, Dougie, cause Dougie will have to big you up, you know, because you know, Elder, it's a long time you do this thing, you know. You understand? So we have to rise you up, you know, Elder. Yeah, as the Elder in the house, you know. Yeah, so we have to just bow to the Elder and just give thanks and praise to the Elder. You know? As the younger one for you. You know, at least you can say your work not on to be there.
Ducky, I'm off for your job.
Alright, so give time. Jammers, say man, yeah? Beg your pardon, Jammers.
That's a good one. I've got to especially pick up the people verses. Inside the word verse is the word serve, but we don't serve, we use verses. So special request to the people's verse. And that's quite to give you a word, I want to give you a word. If you look at the word, analyze the word afraid. ID means spirit, yeah? So you've got Afra ID, so they're afraid of our creative spirit. So I want to big up, the next revolution is a revolution of the mind. Don't get left behind. Make sure you're there. Don't be a fool, be there. Because SETI come for all.
Okay, fantastic. As I said, for you to be successful, you have to do the things today that others not going to do. So tomorrow, you have the things that others won't have. So anyway, give thanks again. What a powerful show. And I said, SETI, this is your life.
My brother, man. Appreciate everything, man. Thank you, brother,
respect, man. Look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Elder, man.
Don't make Quaker. Quaker's older. Better cream.
Yeah, dans la peau qui vient à me.
Strong. Y'all strong over here, man. Strong.